First, I apologize for being a bit late. I got held up on some unexpected work. I'm glad the ceremony started on time, or the event started on time, and I'm glad I made it just in time as we were finishing lighting the lamp. On behalf of the Chief Minister, our government, the people of Tamil Nadu, first let me welcome all of you to Chennai for this Asia Pacific Region Conference. We're very happy you're here. We're very happy that you've chosen to spend some time in our city, in our state. We pride ourselves that we are a outward-looking and a very historically outward-looking at that, and very multicultural and multi-dimensional society. Our old sayings from the Tamil literature that start with things like Yadum Ure, Yavarum Kele, which is every town is my town, everyone's my relative. In this age of post-pandemic recovery, I'm also very happy that the first big meeting of the region after the pandemic is happening here in Chennai. And I understand that Chennai is the oldest and first outpost of the YMCA in India, dating back to 1890. So I think it's only appropriate that the new connects with the old. And I commend the Chennai chapter for hosting and for organizing such a big event. I had a chance to read up a little bit before I came on the agenda for this big gathering. And I was very pleased to see there was a separate youth session for a few days. There was also one based on gender equality. And I also had a chance to read up a little bit about the Mission 2030 of the organization. It is, I think, fortuitous that you are in Chennai today because we are also on a Mission 2030, which I'll come to in a minute. But I think more importantly, our values are so closely aligned. If you look at Tamil Nadu as a state within the context of India, we are relatively large, relatively prosperous, but much more importantly, relatively more socially just, relatively more economically equitable. Our Gini coefficient is probably 10% lower than the national average. And we have among the highest participation of women in both the workforce, which is actually the highest, and in education, which is again the highest of any place in the country. Roughly 90%, between 88 and 90% of our girls at the age of 18 have either completed or are completing high school. That, I think, is one of the bases for the progress we have had as a state. So when we read about the focus on gender equity and the focus on the youth, I think we find those values resonate very strongly with us. We are also a state where education has been the driver of our transformation over the last century plus, starting with the compulsory education legislation in 1921 for boys and girls, to a point now where we have almost 52% of all college-eligible children enrolling in colleges, which is twice the national average, and the source of the great talent pool that we are creating, which of course requires us to create job opportunities for them. But we are on a mission as well, 2030. Our Chief Minister has said we should take our roughly $320 billion economy to a $1 trillion economy by 2030, which requires very accelerated growth, almost 11%, 11.5% real growth, 15, 16, 17% with inflation for the next 7 years or 8 years. That's a tall ambition. The only reason we think it's within our reach is that we have this amazing talent pool of youth who are highly skilled, and the macroeconomic and geopolitical variables are driving towards India in general. And like with all other large organizations or countries, those that are particularly well equipped within that country, states like Tamil Nadu or many of the other southern states, will benefit much more from that focus on India than those who don't have the social infrastructure to leverage that benefit. This is a story that's at least 30 years old. If you look at the comparison of states across India, the real divergence started after the 1990s liberalization, where those states that had the social infrastructure, that had widespread participation of people in the economy, that had high levels of education, that had high levels of English literacy, those states accelerated dramatically. And other states which did not have those benefits actually grew much, much more slowly and effectively on a relative basis fell quite far behind. As much as we value our roots and our focus on social justice going back 100 plus years to the Justice Party, I think I've spoken on multiple occasions that many places in Tamil Nadu, particularly where I come from, the city of Madurai or the district of Madurai, have benefited tremendously from the work of Christian missionaries, particularly in the areas of education and health, going back to the 1800s at least. In fact, it might surprise some of you to know today that the district with the highest levels of educational attainment in Tamil Nadu is not Chennai, is not Coimbatore, is not Madurai, but Kanyakumari. And almost single reason for that is the extent of the educational institutions set up by the Christian missionaries going back, as I say, 100, 150 years. I myself have been to colleges that are more than 150 years old for annual day or for graduation ceremonies in that area between Kanyakumari and Tirunelveli. So you come from a great tradition of service. I read some of the motivations in your Mission 2030 about justice, about inclusion, about equitable access, opportunity for all. And I think those are the keys. You know, growth without equity, without justice is not really a long-term construct. It will lead to social strife and lead to a decay of societal values. So I'm very pleased to see this organization with this tremendous legacy, with this particular legacy in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, gather here at the regional level, at the Asia Pacific level. I hope those of you who've been here a few days have already had a great time. I know you're here for a few more days. I wish you all a very pleasant conference full of fellowship, full of fun. I think Chennai is a warm and welcoming city, so I hope you'll all get out to see some interesting places, go down to the beach, go down to the shore temples. There's a lot of surfing, there's other activities that you can do here. And I know that the organizers will have put you into a very packed program, but also with a lot of opportunities for social interaction. So I'm sure in this great facility and with the infrastructure we have, you'll have a great chance of taking away some fond memories from this conference. Again, on behalf of my Chief Minister, our government, the people of Tamil Nadu, I welcome you all. I thank you for the service you have done till now. I wish you all the best in your Mission 2030 and hope you have a great day and a great conference. Thank you.